Yeah, because every musician's different. Some are better than others. Some, most of them are probably better than me. But yeah, it's, just you getting out there and you're playing. That's the main thing for me. I want to be able to feel the song rather than know exactly.
Not be given someone else's interpretation of it.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, you can write a song, and if I play a song to you, I'm feeling a certain way, but it might resonate with you in a different way. You might take a line differently to how I intended it. And if that works for you, great.
Hello and welcome.
Hello.
Episode 12 of the Sounds From The Dockside podcast with me, your host Dave. In the engine room today, we've got singer-songwriter Tony Beacock. How's it going, Tony? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Thanks for having me.
How was the journey over here?
Yeah, it didn't take as long, to be honest, as I thought it was going to. I don't often venture to Grimsby, to be honest, so
No?
it's a nice change, really.
Is this your first time playing live in Grimsby, or have you been out
It is,
before playing? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Taking your Grimsby virginity.
Exactly, yeah.
Glad it was me, Tony. You're a handsome man.
Well,
So we like to start the podcast just by getting to know a bit about the guests. So music aside, all that aside, just tell us a bit about you. Where'd you grow up? What makes you you?
so I'm from Hull, East Yorkshire. I'm 29. I've lived there my whole life. I've just moved towards like the coast in a little village called Aldeburgh.
Okay.
It's like right near Hornsey and stuff like that. I've always played music. I've always been around doing things like that. I'm a software developer in the day, which is completely different to my music and stuff like that. I'm probably interested in most things. I'm always flitting between different hobbies and all sorts, really.
So going back to your early years, was there a lot of music in the household? Are your parents musicians? Are they into music? Are they keen or no?
No, nobody, to be honest.
No.
I'm the only musician. Everybody used to listen to music, but they never played it or sang or anything. My dad always listened to the Beach Boys and Prince, and he did like Johnny Cash and things like that. So I guess there was some kind of country and folk influence there. But my grandparents were the Beatles and T-Rex and Jimi Hendrix. Quite a range of things, really. So I've been exposed to a lot of different music. Really, the only stuff I wasn't exposed to was heavy metal and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't listen to now, so
Still
kind of makes sense. Yeah.
So when did you first pick up the instrument? Is guitar your native instrument?
Yeah, guitar was first. Did I actually start violin first? No, it was guitar.
Interesting.
It was guitar. I only played violin for a little bit, actually. I've picked it up again recently. But yeah, guitar was 9 years old. I got my first guitar. My head teacher at school, he was putting on free lessons on a Monday night. So I was like, yeah, let's get in there.
So that's what inspired you to ask for a guitar?
Yeah, because
there's some free lessons going on.
Yeah, I'm not a cheapskate or anything.
Oh, no, you fair one. I always find it really interesting to know what makes people tick, For me, it was my uncle's a guitarist, my dad's a drummer. So growing up,
always been around.
Yeah, it was just, force fed it. I couldn't get away from it, really. So it's interesting to hear how other people get into music, and everyone's unique. You've grown up with no sort of musical influence.
Yeah, nothing except listening.
You've wound up into it. So
yeah.
So what? Obviously, you class yourself as a country musician, I'd assume.
Yeah, I usually say country folk. I mean, I have like the style, which is obviously Western Americana type.
So when did you first get into country? Was it at a young age when you started listening to country, or?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew Johnny Cash songs and things like that, but then I went. It was weird, really. I found Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
And I particularly listened to the Nebraska album. That was really stripped back, acoustic guitar, harmonica, and yeah, really nice kind of vibe to it. And then I went from there, It was actually YouTube suggesting things to me. Where I went down the country road, and I was like, that was a bit cliche, wasn't it? Country road. I didn't mean that, but the country route. And yeah, I just came across different people. Towns Van Zandt, he's not really well known, but he was more like, I don't know, maybe say American folk music, not as country as such, but he was with, from southern, southern states. I think it was Fort Worth, Texas. He was from,
Mm,
so he was surrounded by it. And yeah, he played guitar, banjo, and sang as well. And amazing songwriter.
mm,
There's a lot of like the songwriter scene from that area and that time, like 70s and stuff, that I was really into,
mm.
and because it kind of resonated with me as well. Because I was by that time I was playing guitar, I was wanting to write songs. I didn't actually have the confidence to write and sing them. And I didn't think I could.
Mm.
But yeah, I kind of went through there, and then it just opened a whole new world really for me.
So from picking up, first picking up the guitar to doing your first gig, how long was that? What was the gap?
Well, the first gigs I used to do were like I was 13.
Mm.
I was playing in pubs and stuff like that, and around here, there, and everywhere around the local area. And it was playing covers,
Mm.
purely covers, and it was to a bunch of old people, basically, on a Sunday afternoon in various pubs.
That's how it starts
And
with
it,
most, really,
yeah,
isn't
and
it?
I wouldn't change a thing because like everyone was really appreciative. They used to say, "Can you play Elvis? Can you play Buddy Holly? Can you play this, that, and the other?" And that was before I got into country.
Mm.
So, and all like folk music and stuff. It was more, I don't know, well known songs and stuff, well known artists. And yeah, so it went from there, and then I kind of vanished from that scene. I used to just play back at home by myself, and then lockdown happened and stuff as well. And I was like, I was going through a breakup and stuff just at the end of lockdown and whatever as well, and that was hard. But then it inspired me to write.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I can do it. And I used it as therapy as well, all the songwriting and stuff. And I'm sure a lot of musicians do as well, uh, whether they're just playing an instrument or if they're songwriting or singing other people's songs. It's it's amazing what music can do.
Mm. It's cathartic, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. And it's I don't know, it's taken me out of some really dark places actually, and you never know where you turn to.
Mm.
And the music was a really good route for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thankful to music for that. Really grateful for it.
So, growing up in Hull, would you say if that has any bearing on your songwriting or on the themes that you might pick up up on in some of your songs? So, because country music's a lot about storytelling, isn't it?
It is
So,
definitely.
what
Yeah.
inspires some of the stories you tell through your music?
I just write the truth really. So I guess it doesn't matter to me. I don't know. It's not really where I am. It's the things I've experienced. So it's things like a breakup, for example. And I know there's a million and one heartbreak songs, isn't there, and breakup songs, whatever. Um, I don't. I'm not like a Taylor Swift where she only writes those songs. I'm trying to get out of that bracket really. I enjoy being singer-songwriter, and I'll write about a lot of different things. But yeah, I'm just trying to think if I've got any. I guess I have a couple of songs where, whilst I was in my lowest moments, I was like, I don't know, walking on the beach. I was at Hornsey and stuff like that, and all along that coast. So there's some elements of the sea and beaches, the shore, and things like that.
Yeah.
So I guess those have like come into play. But it's wherever I am and whatever I've experienced. It's just the truth I try to write.
Yeah. Just try and sort of highlight their moments in your life by writing some music about it.
Yeah, because like you look at the moon, for example, while you're walking on the beach or something. And it's like I have a song. It always sounds more cheesy when you're actually saying it, doesn't it? But when you're singing it and it's all with instrumentation
In
and stuff.
context.
Yeah. But like you look at the moon, and I have a song called "Guide My Way," and it's like it's about the moon guiding your way, and it's all to me. It's about keeping your head up, You know, there's so many people looking down, whether they're on the phones or just not confident with themselves.
Mm.
And I was really low at that point. It just forced me to look up because I saw it and I was like, and all the reflections on the sea and stuff like that. And I tried to write poetically, but not forced, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of kind of similes and metaphors in what I write and double meanings and stuff. Um, yeah, that's about it, really.
Could you take me through your songwriting process then? I'm always keen to know because I'm a musician myself,
Yeah,
but I I write parts, I write hooks, I write
yeah,
bits and
yeah.
bobs, and then I develop them with my band. I've tried sitting down and writing songs start to finish with lyrics, and
Mm,
sometimes I can write something and then I revisit it a day later, 5 minutes later,
yeah.
and I can't resonate with it again. I'm like, that is awful. I can't believe I've even written that. What was I on about? You know?
Mm.
So what's your songwriting process? But not just what is your songwriting process? Have you experienced anything like that? And if you did, how did you overcome it? How did you learn to accept yourself in terms of writing songs?
Yeah, I think I don't know. It was just the terms of like the confidence thing of that was a switch just flicked in my head, and I was just like, I've just got to I've just got to do it. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm trying to tell a story. I'm trying to write about a story. I'm using it for other reasons, such as therapy, like I've said, and I want to spread my story, like tell that story to other people, and I don't really care if people don't like it because it's helping myself. But it just so happens that they're nice songs and people do resonate with them. And that every time like I've sang a song and people have said, "Oh, I really resonate with that," and like you sing like a line and like yeah, you know, like
Mm.
they really like get that, and it's things like that, and that boosts your confidence every time, and you're like, yeah, I can actually do it. So to me, it was just kind of jumping in and doing it.
So kind of just saying, I'm going to do it. And
Yeah,
then the affirmations kind of made you
I
realize
think so.
it's
Yeah,
worth it almost.
yeah, it's that and not caring about what people think.
Mm.
It's I think it's the mixture of those two things, and probably a couple of other things I can't think of right now, but that really helped me. What was I going to say? It was but in terms of the songwriting process itself,
Mm.
it wa- it's different to me every time. Like I've just recently um I treat myself to a banjo from the 20s and 30s. I brought that today actually, and um, I've explored music with that. I've been getting into clawhammer banjo, like old time country, like in the Appalachian Mountains and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, it's I don't know. I love learning instruments as well. So each instrument kind of gives me like it inspires me, gives me a different angle on music.
Mm.
Um, So I've been messing about with open tuning, like double C and things like that on the banjo, and it's like it opens a new world up every time.
Mm.
And then I don't know. Sometimes it's I'll find something on an instrument, and I'm like, okay, kind of see where that's going. Let's just sing some random stuff. What's in my head? Anything that's in my head, just blurt it out basically. And I'll always try and record it as well, and then write those down if there's anything decent. Um, Apart from that, like in the earlier days when I was going through that breakup and stuff, I used to just write everything down in a notebook and then not look at it. Maybe come back to it like a month later or two, um, and I'd be like, okay, well that fits that bit of music that I've written, and let's try and shift some things about, and then it just works really. So yeah, I can't really pinpoint exactly my process, but sometimes it's music first, sometimes it's notes into lyrics and into a word, into a song. Sorry, um, or I'll just play something really cool, and it's like, oh yeah,
I've asked a few people this question, and there's a commonality. It's like there's no one glove fits all. There's no one who just writes songs in one particular
yeah,
method. Like everyone's drawing inspiration from anything, you
yeah.
know, an object, a feeling, an environment,
It's about
and then
anything,
just
isn't it?
running
Yeah,
with that. And it seems to be the same across the board. Everyone draws inspiration from everything. For me, it's like the most inspiration comes to me in the most unlikely moments, and you can guarantee it's when I'm waiting for my missus to get ready, and
Yeah.
I'm sat just tinkering around, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
5 minutes later she's like, "We off then?" I'm like, "1 sec, I'm onto some."
Yeah,
you know.
just let me record it or something at least. Yeah, because that can. I remember that you'd asked about the blockage, like the creativity
Mm,
blocks and stuff. Like it is that type of thing, and once you've kind of broken through that and you're in the zone type thing, it's hard to just turn off. Because for me anyway, I'm thinking about it and I'm like,
mm,
I just need that last line, and I can't stop until I've got it.
mm.
And then sometimes it just gets too late and you're too tired, and that break does help. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. And every song is different, in my opinion. And the direction and the angle that you come in is different. Um, in terms of actual like creativity blocks themselves, I think getting out there and experiencing things helps a lot. And if you're halfway through a song, go for a walk or something. You might see something, or something might happen, or something just clicks in your mind because you're not actively thinking about that. It happens a lot when I'm doing software, like in my job. It's you're trying to solve a problem, and songwriting can be problem solving. It can be that type of thing. And I'll be writing a piece of code or whatever, and trying to solve an issue, and you just have no chance because you've looked at it that many times, and you're that invested in it. You just need to step back and let I don't know, be distracted for a little bit. I've heard people like I don't know, they'll get in the shower and something will pop up in their head, or they'll be walking and the solution is just obvious
Mm.
to them. And then you can go back and finish the song, or you can finish whatever you're doing, whatever project it is.
It's almost like I put a bit too much pressure on myself in terms of lyrics.
I
Like,
think so, yeah.
yeah, it's like I don't know. I put pen to paper, and at the time, it's obviously good enough to write down.
Of course,
But then
yeah.
upon reflection, I'm like, what was that?
And I think that's the part you've probably got to overcome, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure there's like you have notebooks or whatever, and it's full of great songs. Or even if out of 4 pages you might have one line what's like, yeah, that's real good.
Yeah.
Then you take that and start a different song, and that could like kind of um force something to happen. Like it force a different angle, and inspire you in a different way type thing. Um, I've definitely done that. I sometimes look back at old notebooks from like years ago.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I never throw it away, never scrap it or anything, because I think if I've written it in January and I come back to it in April and I'm like, not very good, that's just at that moment.
Mm.
Like, you might they're waiting for that song type thing. It might take a whole year or two or three, and then those lyrics will fit into a song, and your head is in a different space, so you can kind of look at it in a retrospective way
Mm.
and form a song from it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins say something similar recently, saying that some of Smashing Pumpkins' best work at the time of conception, he didn't like it,
yeah,
and he
exactly.
says like you never dislike a song, it's just you're not ready for it at that time.
Yeah,
I think that's really
I
interesting.
totally
Yeah,
agree. And there's songs where you think they're great at first, then you come back to them after maybe playing them live a couple of times. You're like, don't really like that anymore,
yeah,
but people like it, so you know if you want to please the crowd and someone likes a certain song, or if the musicians in your band like to play a certain song, you'll play it.
Hmm.
I think there's like one song, and it's a good song, like of mine, but in my opinion, it's decent. But everyone in the band really enjoy playing it. We've got some really nice parts in it, and they think that I sing it really well and whatever. But I just don't really enjoy singing that song anymore.
yeah.
But I still do it because it's all about because the band is under my name as well. I don't want it to just be all about me.
Hmm.
I like my friends who are the musicians in my band to also enjoy it. I appreciate all of them being there playing or doing whatever they're doing. But it's not all about me.
Hmm.
Like, I do try to make that clear.
Yeah. So, in terms of the band, how's it been going? Gigging? You've
Yeah,
been getting
it's
plenty of gigs.
yeah. I always get gigs and stuff. It's mainly in Hull, to be honest, and I would like to start branching out. But at the moment, we've had a couple of band changes in terms of members and stuff, and it's just people being overwhelmed in other things aside from music.
Yeah.
Um, one of my good friends, a mutual friend of ours,
Shout
he,
out Rivers.
yeah, Rivers, but he's been going through some things, and I love him to bits. He's a great guy, and amazing musician. He does his solo stuff, and he plays mandolin for me usually. But because he's been going through a lot of stuff in his day to day life, it's kind of stepped down.
Yeah.
And he said to me like, I'll in the future, like once I've sorted myself out, then if there's a place for me, then I'll come back and play.
Mm.
And it's like, of course there is. You're a friend first, and I appreciate everything you've done. We've played loads of gigs together. We travelled to Bradford. We've done Humber Street Sesh. We've done Springboard, like what you were talking
Yeah.
about as well, and all sorts. And it's nice because I don't know, that people are friends in my band, and that's important for me.
Yeah.
Some people just meet up and practice and play a gig, and that's it. I like to hang out after gigs or
Yeah.
like outside of music as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I see being in a group, it's like being in a relationship, isn't it?
of course it is, yeah,
And you spend a lot of time with them, and you've really got to be able to tolerate each other, haven't you?
yeah, definitely,
And I think the social element of it is just as important as the musical element of it sometimes, isn't it? Because
definitely.
if you half-ass in either of them, it has a detrimental effect on the
Yeah,
other.
if it's boring or if
Yeah.
or if someone's a dick or something,
Yeah.
like it's yeah, it's a weird thing, isn't it? A band, and it's people have lives, and I think that's what people forget
Mm.
when they're in a band. And I try my best to remember that as much as possible. Like it's not all about me and my project and blah blah blah. These are people, and they're good friends and stuff. You kind of you have to adjust. So yeah, like I was saying, there's a couple of people stepping down from the roles within the band, and at the moment we're just bringing a drummer in and a new bassist and stuff like that, and um, I want to build that really strong foundation again, and then we can go from there. But it's come at a really good time actually because my music, the direction in my head has changed slightly
Okay.
in terms of sound and stuff. So kind of writing some new songs, bringing the banjo in properly live and stuff. Um, and the core of it's still there. We're still singing the same songs. We're just bringing a couple of new ones in.
Yeah.
Slowly building that foundation again, and then when and if Rivers wants to join again, they can, and everybody else as well, or not. There may be some new people who want to join. Who knows what the future holds? But
I
all you
think
can do is just try, right?
with your genre as well, it's not uncommon for things to be added and things to be removed.
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
in what I do, if we lost a guitarist and was
Yes.
like, oh, we'll just gig without him, it'll be fine. You would notice.
You'd notice, yeah.
Whereas it's a bit more, you can add things and take things away with your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it is like my project, I've written the songs and I'm playing guitar and I'm singing. I'm like the front man type person of it, right? I am the guy. I can play the solos. I can play any kind of combination. So I can play solo, I can play as a duo, trio, full band. It really depends on what's going on, what type of gig it is. Like
Yeah.
next week we're playing in a church in Beverley, and that's going to be like a really nice venue, and it's going to be stripped back again. We don't really have that much option at the moment because obviously the drummer's learning the songs, bassist is learning the songs and stuff. It's annoying because I'd love to play. I have a double bass at home, and I'm learning that, and I'd love to play that. I can't really play it live because I don't think I could sing with it really.
Yeah.
But I can always teach people things that I know, and I'm always up for helping. And because I learn every day's a learning experience in it, whether you're doing music or not. And I'm not the best musician ever. I would never claim that in my life, but I like to even go to like folk circles and jam sessions and stuff where you can learn so much from other people.
Yeah.
And it's important because you're supporting people, you're making friends, and in terms of business and stuff, you're making new connections and stuff as
Mm.
well.
I think jamming's really important for your own development as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Like, I never unlocked new techniques or anything like that when I'm rehearsing with my band. It's always when I'm jamming with friends. That's when
Yeah, because it's
I
new
just
takes.
unlock new parts of the fretboard,
Oh God, yeah.
and my hands will move in new and exciting ways, and there's no pressure to not develop that. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Whilst I'm in that setting, so I think jamming's just as important, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Um, and not just in that band setting either, just jamming with yourself.
It is, yeah, because even if it's like a room full of 30 people,
Mm,
I go to one at the Sun Inn in Beverley on a Saturday usually, 4 till 7, and everyone's really nice.
mm,
I've been taking the double bass there the last couple of Saturdays, and it's like, although you can hear that, people come up to you like, oh yeah, it really kind of lifts it.
mm,
I'm there to practice my instrument, whereas at home, I can only stick some music on and play along with it.
mm,
But like, and I don't know, live music is totally different. Unexpected things can happen.
mm,
You kind of have to follow that, and you just become better at the instrument, don't you?
mm. And
Same with the
your
violin.
intuition improves as well. Your
Yeah,
intuition
exactly.
playing with others, yeah.
Yeah, because every musician's different. Some are better than others. Some, most of them are probably better than me. Um, but yeah, it's just you getting out there and you're playing.
Mm.
That's the main thing for me.
Yeah, it's the main thing for me. It takes precedence over everything else.
Oh yeah,
Like I love the process as well, though. I love someone coming with just a nugget of something and then
yeah.
watching that flourish and develop
Oh
into a
yeah, yeah,
recorded song with a music video. And, there's something about that entire process. And I don't even necessarily know what it is. I guess it's elements of each part of it,
yeah.
but there's just something beautiful about creating something from nothing and then
Definitely.
putting it out. And even better if you get some positive feedback about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it always lifts your spirits, doesn't it?
Mm. So what's on the horizon for you in terms of releases and upcoming projects? Do you
I've
have anything planned? Obviously, you're having a bit of a change around in terms of members, but is there anything in the schedule to get some more recording done? Or?
we've got loads of recordings, to be
Yeah.
honest. I did about, what was it? Between 12 and 16 songs. I can't remember the exact number. We've got some studio versions of some of my songs,
Okay.
and also some live acoustic versions as well. I've got my next one coming out on Friday, called Never Again, and that was a live take, not the first take by all means. It was like, I think we did like 30 or something, and I think it was number 18, if I recall correctly. And that's just me singing and guitar. But there's a girl that used to sing in the band, and she's singing harmonies. She's a beautiful voice, like beautiful harmonies. And then the fiddle as well, like towards the end of the song. Um, I just thought I'd throw something slightly different out.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm basically going through with the producer at the moment, who's just kind of still mixing some things and editing a little bit and whatever. And um, I'm just gonna try and put those out. But like I say, my sound's changed, so I kind of just want them out now.
Yeah.
Like they're still fine,
Mm.
but I just want them out so I can start on my new things and my new sound. Like
Yeah.
it's nothing like drastic change. Like I say, I'm not going into heavy metal or anything, but it's like
Oh.
no, I appreciate heavy metal and the musicians that play it, but it's just not my thing.
I completely get it, mate.
I couldn't sit and listen to it. My head's all over the place. Like, I have ADHD and stuff, and it's like, and like, I have to have calm music.
Yeah.
I went to see Sturgill Simpson a couple of weeks ago in Manchester, and he had a really nice bluesgrass album came out, and I mean it's quite a lot of years old now, but amazing like instrumentation. He did like bluesgrass versions of his heavier songs,
Mm.
but there was and he did those songs, but it was a very heavy concert, and I enjoyed it, but it was like too heavy for me,
Yeah.
and it went more into like the rock, which is fine because I do like it, but I guess you go through phases of what you listen to.
100%, mate.
I'm currently listening to like clawhammer banjo, and like
Mm.
it's really stripped back and raw, and you know, really nice songs, really nice lyrics and stuff. Which even heavy metal songs can have
Mm.
nice lyrics, can't
Yeah.
they? even screamo and stuff. It's the lyrics are raw, like they go straight to your heart
Hmm.
or whatever. But just everyone's into something like different, aren't they?
I mean, it's a bit of everything, mate, but it's a very Limp Bizkit intensive week for me because I just saw him on Thursday in Birmingham. So I've not listened to him in years. And then the announcer tour, me and the missus got tickets, and I'm so glad I went to see him because
Yeah,
it's like 1999 all over again.
yeah. I was 3 then, so
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was only a bit older, but so you're playing sober sessions tonight.
yeah.
So what can people expect from your set tonight?
Um, well, I don't drink, so definitely won't be drunk as
All
well.
right.
So,
So what? Just touching on that. Why
yeah,
don't you drink? Is that through choice or?
just yeah. I've never, I've never been in. Well, thankfully, I've never been in a state of addiction or
Yeah.
anything like that. Because I
Mm.
don't smoke. I don't. I've never smoked. Never touched drugs. Never drank. Well, I've drank when I was younger, but just out of choice, just don't need it.
Yeah.
I can kind of now I've accepted myself more, and I don't have to kind of put any fronts on or anything. Because growing up as a teenager and stuff, you always want to fit in, don't you? And
Mm.
you always like you want to be the joker or the laugh of the classroom or the party or wherever you are. And like I don't know, I can do that. I can do that without the alcohol, I guess. I love just being daft, basically. Like I don't go a day without laughing, and I appreciate people who have had addictions and stuff, and it's a very strong thing to come out of, isn't it? Like it's a difficult thing to stop. Um, but yeah, for me personally, I'm lucky enough to say I've not had that addiction. Um, but I'm always there to help people as well if they have. I've had plenty of friends who have come to me and be like, "Well, how do you actually do it?"
Mm.
Like we've been on nights out, and I'm there drinking soft drinks, water or whatever, and it's like, how on earth do you go on a night out and drink
And
water?
that's a sad reality, really, isn't it? For
Yeah,
some people, when they're looking at someone who's not drinking and thinking, "Fuck, how do they do that?"
yeah, because you can see that they want to do that, and they're like curious about it and stuff. And I think more and more people are actually stopping drinking
I
or
think
stopping the amount that they're drinking.
it's on the decline, isn't it? It
Yeah,
really is. People's attitude towards it. No doubt, the cost of living is
yeah,
having
of
an effect on it.
course, yeah,
You know, people can't afford to drink anymore.
yeah,
And I think I don't know whether it's because I'm getting older and a lot of my friends are maybe kind of becoming of the same opinion. Like
yeah,
I'm not in recovery from alcohol or anything like, but I barely drink at all because I don't like it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
There's some situations where it plays a part for me, but it's very few and far between. In
Mhm.
drinking to get drunk is just I couldn't think about drinking to get drunk
I
anymore.
like to be in control as well.
Yeah.
Like I like to, if you're out in a city you've never been or something,
Mm.
and you're so drunk you don't even know what's going on, and you're trying to walk back to a hotel or go to the train station or something. You just never know what. I like to have my wits about me, and I'm observant. I'm always like looking around the room and
Yeah.
or the street or something. I'm always aware, and I think, well, I know that being drunk, I don't know, everything goes out the window, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can take a situation completely in a different way than you would if you were sober. Um, the way someone's speaking or something.
Mm.
Um, or someone's intentions or whatever as well. Um, yeah, I've not. I don't know. I can't remember the last time. It's not like I'm alcohol free. Like I think at Christmas I shared a very small amount of mulled wine
Mm.
with a girl I was seeing at the time because we were out at a Christmas market
Mm.
and she wanted to try it and I was like, yeah, I'll try a little bit. I probably had a couple of sips. It was a small glass and it's like, I'm not sure. I'm in control of that situation. I've chosen to just try it,
Mm.
and a sip isn't going to do anything for me in a good way or a bad way. I'm just going to get a bit of a taste of something. That was the last time I had alcohol, but before that, it was like years.
Yeah.
I, people laugh at me because I always go to. There's a bar in Hull called the Brain Jar. You've probably been,
Not
or
heard of it. No, not heard of that one.
they do food and cocktails and stuff like really nice cocktails, but they do mocktails and stuff as well. So I've had those in the past, and they do gigs. So I've played there, and you get a couple of tokens or whatever, and some money for playing. I'd spend like one of the tokens on a pizza because they're really good pizza. But then I'll get a green tea or peppermint tea. People are like, you know, they expect a musician to come in and just get absolutely wasted, whether it's on booze or drugs or something. I'm like, I've, or they'll even say, "Oh, are you coming out for a smoke and we'll have a chat?" It's like, I don't smoke. I'll come out and chat, but
Yeah.
I just don't do any of that, and I don't need it.
It goes hand in hand though with creativity, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of creative people are wild fucking people. You
Yep.
know, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, there's so many famous musicians who had to be on drugs or alcohol to write even.
The reality is probably some of the best music that's ever been put out there
Yeah,
is a result of some sort of trip or high
hallucinogenics.
or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but I don't think there's any place for it. I mean, these events we're doing is proof that you don't need it.
Oh, of
You
course,
know,
yeah.
um,
You can have a good time without it, and
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
tricking your body. Well, it's not even tricking, it's because your body's tricked into thinking you need that addictive thing like alcohol or drugs or whatever. You have to kind of align yourself again. Because kids, for example, they have a whale of a time, don't they? And they don't touch any of it.
mm,
Like it's all about you. I don't know. You get older and you start having stresses and you start thinking about what other people think. And if we could all just kind of forget that and just let loose a little bit and act like kids again in the right situations, have fun without all of that.
yeah. It'd be playful.
It'd be amazing.
Cool. So back to your music, mate. Is there any sort of dream collaborations or anything like that?
Um,
I mean, I bet the list is endless, but
yeah.
for most people, they kind of have one, two artists who they'd really, really, really want to lock in with, and
They're all dead, to be honest.
well, dead or alive. Then let's rephrase that: dead or alive. Who would be a dream collab?
Oh, Towns Van Zandt, Blaze Foley. You've probably not heard of him.
No.
He was, to be honest, it's on touch with this actually. He was an alcoholic and he abused substances as well. And um, he was very good friends with Towns Van Zandt. Have you heard of him?
I've heard the name. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've not listened though.
So they were very kind of similar. Like Towns was on heroin and stuff like that, and I can't remember if Blaze was, but he definitely took part in drugs and stuff. But it was mainly alcohol for him. And they became friends and they started writing stuff separately, and they did a couple of collabs and stuff as well, like live. Um, it's that type of person because it's raw. It's like again, it's from the heart. It's like live. It's true. It's the truth. It's the experiences they've come from. Like he was homeless type thing. He was couch surfing, and he lived in a tree house with his. He got married and stuff to a Jewish girl, and there's a film about it called Blaze. Ethan Hawke produced it and stuff, and that's great. But yeah, I'm going off topic now. Blaze and Towns and there's I don't know really. I'm trying to think of people that would kind of fit with my thing because they're very much songwriters, so they would. But people who are alive, Charlie Crockett is a very big influence of mine. I absolutely love his music, but he's like big, you know. He's got a band and is real lively on stage and
Yeah.
stuff. And he came from playing on street corners and learning from homeless people, like the
Mm.
blues and stuff. And then he's like skyrocketed over the last couple of years. He was, I would say, the best gig I've ever been to.
Mm.
I've seen him twice, like as an acoustic artist and with his band. So Charlie Crockett would be great. I chatted with him for a little bit actually when I went to see him. Real nice guy and whatever. But yeah, I would say those. I can't really think of any more. Um, and anyone really, because it would just be about playing music with them.
Mm.
I don't really care about becoming famous or anything, or it was never my goal. Like it's all about the music, and I could learn something from them,
Mm.
and I'd love to ask them questions and to see what they would, see if they liked my songs or anything that they're writing and stuff.
It's not an easy question to be asked, is it?
It's
That's
not,
the reality of
no,
it.
no.
The same when people say, "Who are your influencers?" It's like, well, fucking who isn't an influence? Do you know what I mean? I take inspiration from anyone who plays a guitar. Anyone can inspire me, like on that instrument.
And everybody plays it so differently. So, like I
Yeah,
say, you can learn anything from anybody. Like if you're not Travis picking in the correct way, that can that can cause a whole different direction of music. It's like your own style, isn't it?
yeah,
I don't like to categorize myself too much. I say country folk, but I just play and write whatever comes from my heart, really.
yeah.
I know it's a bit cliche, isn't it? But that's just what I do.
It's all it is, really, isn't it? Like, how else can you describe it?
Yeah,
At the end of the day, when you playing original music, how else can you describe it other than you're just playing something that's authentically you?
exactly. And
That's the bit I struggle with.
is it?
I put something down in the band setting. It's not an issue. Like I said, it's when I'm on my own, when I'm trying to write my own songs. It's just like, it's not like I haven't got the ability. It's just the ability to overcome myself. Do you know what I mean? And
Like I say, it's one of the biggest things. Is that?
maybe I'm trying for no reason. Maybe I'll never need to do it. Do you know what I mean? But
But
it's something I've always wanted to do. It's
yeah,
something I've always been envious of other people of being able to do.
yeah.
And maybe that's the only reason I'm starting this podcast, mate, is to try and
Collect all the ideas. No, but I honestly believe that you can do it,
yeah.
and I think you should literally pull an old song out of a notebook that you've had, or even go and write a new one, and just go to an open mic and just play it. See what the reaction is. But even if you get some claps and you're like, oh, I wanted that to be bigger, um, play it again. Like I was so scared about playing my first song ever. Like I was like, people are gonna boo me off stage, they're gonna hate it.
You're gonna bomb.
But they didn't. They absolutely loved it, and it even actually made someone cry. And I was like, bloody hell, am I that bad, really?
That must have been pretty powerful.
Yeah, and I do get that quite often now, especially at the intimate gigs, because people are there to listen to the songs themselves,
Mm.
and I prefer I actually prefer the more intimate gigs now over like a big, I don't know, a big festival gig or something.
Yeah,
And I think it's because, like I said, people are there to listen.
yeah.
Festival gigs, if you're playing loud and whatever, you don't really, I don't know, some people don't really care what's being played.
Bit more of a disconnect, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the smaller the venue, the smaller the setting, the more
Yeah.
intimate it becomes, doesn't it?
If
And it
you're
definitely
there.
loses something when you go to a bigger venue. You definitely lose something.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I I don't know. I'm stuttering all over the place. When I saw Charlie Crockett with his band versus the acoustic like set, it was totally different feels. I was at the front for both of them. I was literally like this distance away from him both times, and it was absolutely amazing, like both of them. But you definitely were hitting the heart more, like with the acoustic one.
Yeah.
And I like it when big bands like that, they'll step it down a little bit halfway through the set, and they'll maybe do a couple of songs just acoustic, bring the lights down low, and bring that intimate feel back into the room. And I guess I tried to do that as well.
Yeah.
I'll always try and get everyone to step back, and then I'll just play a song on my own or something.
Try and make the set a bit more dynamic. Peaks.
Yeah, well, a bit of variation in there. Variation's my key, like my favorite word. Like I'm always trying to make it more of a show and a bit more of an experience than just, oh, there's a guy with a guitar playing 8 songs or something.
That's exactly it. It sticks out like a sore thumb. The difference between someone performing songs or someone performing a set,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
exactly.
It's a stark difference. That's what we're really trying to hone in on the minute. And it's, what do we do in them gaps where we're not playing anything?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what we're really trying to hone in.
Yeah, and we did it
space.
exactly, and we did that recently, and I was like, because there's like a song, I use a partial capo, so I can imitate drop D, and I can still do like the G chord, and then go down to the D. And like because the intonation's slightly off, because you've got that capo on second fret, you have to tune it slightly different.
Yeah.
might be something with my guitar, to be honest. But it's if you're using a capo, it's always gonna cause that, isn't it? But yeah,
Yeah, especially when you've got a fixed, but it's an acoustic, isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
you can't fuck with the intonation like you can on an electric. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So with that, like, I always double check my tuning after that song when I'm playing back in standard,
mm.
with just normal capo or something. And I'd give the nod to Rivers, and I'd be like, play C, C, D, and G, and then everyone would just play that on loop whilst I
Yeah,
was just quickly tuning, and then I'd be like, this is called Trust in Me, and that's the next song.
mm.
Um, that's usually the next song we'd play after that, actually. This is Trust in Me, and we'd go straight into the G
Yeah,
and carry on from there.
mm.
And it, like you said, it's that dead space where
Mm.
things can, the audience are kind of looking around,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what's happening, like
It's like
waiting.
you want to grab their attention straight away and then retain that
Yeah,
like through to the very end, isn't it? And
yeah,
sometimes them lulls in between songs, it's kind of
yeah. You might lose the vibe, or like, you just want to keep that momentum going.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bruce Springsteen did that really well. I saw him in Germany, was it last year or the year before? And he did 3 hours straight, and
Mm,
no interval or anything. That was like crazy. It was like one song into the other.
mm,
And to be fair, Sturgill Simpson did that as well in Manchester. I was surprised at the amount he didn't speak actually. Like,
mm.
he hardly said anything. He just went in and played all the songs.
Yeah.
And I think you got to get that balance right, really. I personally hate talking down a microphone.
Mm.
I know I'm yapping away here, but when I'm on stage, I can't stand anything more than people who are, I don't know, they're talking for 5 minutes about a 2 minute song,
Mm.
about what it is. Say a couple of sentences about it,
Mm.
because I want to be able to feel the song rather than know exactly.
Not be given someone else's interpretation of it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I don't know, you can write a song, and if I play a song to you, I'm feeling a certain way, but it might resonate with you in a different way.
Mm.
You might take a line differently
Mm.
to how I intended it. And if that works for you, great. That's what I think. But yeah, if people are talking for too long, it really does my head in, to be honest. Bit of a pet peeve for me, really.
But it, like I said before, it is so important, and you can notice it. You can really notice it when you see someone perform their set.
Yeah,
It's a difference between a well-established act and not being really, isn't it?
yeah,
I think so. Anyway.
yeah. You got to be tight as a band. It's easier when there's a band, to be honest.
Mm.
When you're an acoustic artist, it's a little bit harder. You just have to kind of force yourself to talk and
Mm.
just interact a little bit.
Some people just do it naturally, don't they?
Yeah, I'm
Some
not.
people have the gift of the gab. And
I'm
they could
not
just,
really.
but like I said, it's keeping it on point in it. And like I said, no one wants to hear some 5 minute rhetoric about a song that lasts 2 minutes. Do they?
Exactly. Honestly, I hate it.
But I'm really looking forward to listening to your set tonight, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
Thanks for having me.
I'm interested to. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever seen someone play lap steel intimately. I don't
Well, this is
think
pedal steel, so
pedal steel.
it's
Yeah,
like a
so next level.
yeah. So pedal steel, you'll hear it on a lot of country stuff, especially from the '70s. It was on like every record. You get it every now and then. We were just chatting about that earlier. Like in modern country, you do get it. You'll hear it like as a bit of a swell in the background. You'll understand when Sam plays later
Mm.
if you haven't heard it before.
I've heard it before. I've just not.
Fair,
I've
yeah.
not been in the presence of somebody playing it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's one of my favorite
it's quite a
instruments.
unique instrument, though,
Very
isn't it? It's not
very hard to
something
play.
few and far between as well. It's not often you see them.
Yeah, I was very lucky because there's two that I know about in the whole area, like two people that can play it.
Yeah.
Sam being one of them, and Sam's played every gig that I've asked him to play, and he loves it. And it was an excuse to play pedal steel
Mm.
live, and he's come on so much as well in that time. But then there's a guy called Dave Holly, and he's played all over the world. He's played Nashville, and they went to Scandinavia. Have you heard Keep It Cash, the tribute band?
I haven't now.
It was quite. They've played all over the world
Yeah.
doing Johnny Cash songs. Um, they he played pedal steel in there for a bit as well as electric guitar. But yeah, so I got hold of Dave, and he did pedal steel on the tracks. And now I've met Sam as well. He plays with me live, and he's going to be recording some for the tracks as well, just to like put in. But yeah, such a beautiful instrument. Violin and pedal steel, I love them. You'll have heard a lot of steel guitar in Hank Williams songs if you've listened to him, and that was without the pedals. They kind of added the pedals in later,
Yeah.
but they just bend all the notes and stuff basically.
Mm.
Really, if you like look underneath the pedal steel, like the mechanical side of it's crazy.
Engineering,
Yeah, very beautiful instrument.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it, mate.
Yeah,
And I've really enjoyed this conversation.
I have as well.
Thanks ever
Thank
so
you.
much for
Yeah.
coming on.
Thank you.
So I like to end my podcast by just asking, who should I be listening to right now?
Healer. Limp Bizkit.
Really? I've written Healer down as well. How bad's that?
No, I would say listen to Blaze Foley because because his songwriting is amazing. And Guy Clark as well.
Guy Clark.
They're all in the same kind of town, same area of Texas and stuff like that. And if you're a lover of songs, like songwriting, they're very poetic and stuff like that, along with towns.
Brilliant. I'll check them out. Thanks again, Tony.
Yep, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And if you like what you've heard, hit like and subscribe.